everyone. This is Ray and Andrew with REH CPA. Today we're going to talk about cash versus accrual accounting. Andrew, we deal with a lot of small businesses, and on the front end, when we get these businesses, sometimes we have to decide should they be reporting their revenues and expenses on a cash basis or an accrual basis. Can you go over the difference between the two?
For sure, yeah. So there are two ways to recognize income and expenses that calculate your taxable profit through your business. And there's multiple ways.
Multiple ways, but the two most popular.
Two most popular, cash versus accrual. So on the cash method, it's really the most simplistic. And basically, you record income in your books when you receive it, and you record expenses that you have when you actually pay them. So the IRS actually allows businesses that have there's a gross receipts test of 25 million. So if you have average annual gross receipts of less than $25 million for the 3 preceding tax years, then you are eligible to use the cash method of accounting.
It's pretty much the most popular method for small business owners.
It is.
It's the simplest. It reflects cash flow the best, and yeah.
Right, so you can imagine that, like with that $25 million gross receipts test, it captures a lot of small businesses. So just using the HVAC repairman, for example, so let's say that you perform work in June for a customer, you invoice that customer $1,000 in June, but that customer doesn't pay until August. Well, you don't recognize that income. You don't report it as income in your books until August. It's irrelevant of when you actually did the work. So that's the cash method of accounting. Recognize income when you receive it and recognize your expenses when you actually pay them. So the accrual method of accounting is different. You actually report income in your books when you bill the customer, or you report the expenses in your books when you incur them. So basically all that means is, using the HVAC repair example, say you do work for a customer in June, you invoice them $1,000 for your services, but you don't receive that income until August. Well, you actually report that income as taxable income in your books in June. You report the income when you actually did the work. So there's an argument that the accrual method of accounting shows a better financial picture, a better health of your business, because it shows when work is actually kind of being performed. It can be a little bit I don't want to say better, but it just reports your finances in a different light. So it's definitely something that you want to vet out with your CPA,
right,
or on the front end, because for some it does make better sense.
Yeah, for most small businesses, the cash makes sense, right? I think whenever I start thinking accrual from our small business folks is whenever I start seeing people with inventory,
right?
People in retail, things like that, where they have to buy a bunch of inventory, and they want to match the inventory going out with the revenue that's going out. So there's a matching thing there that makes a better picture of how their finances truly are.
For sure.
So anytime you're dealing with inventories, then usually we're thinking accrual.
Right. So, that's something that we always vet out with our new business owners. Anytime we're filing that first year tax return for them, we make sure that we're doing the best we can to choose the best accounting method for them and put them in the best tax position possible. And even if you already have a method that you're an existing business and you have a method that you've been using since you've started, right, you do have the ability to generally change that method to a different. So that's something we go through with clients as well. If there's a different method of accounting to pay your taxes on, that we should change you to just help manage your tax liability.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. That's good information, Andrew. So if you have any questions on whether or not you should be reporting on a cash method or an accrual method, feel free to give us a call. We'll go through it with you and see what fits best.